Spider-Man 2's creative director Brian Intihar recently confirmed that Marvel's Wolverine will be a part of the unified gaming universe created by Insomniac. Long-standing fan theories have been validated as all the events in the Spider-Man trilogy, including Miles Morales, are considered canonical for Wolverine, and all games take place on Earth 1048. This opens up a bunch of opportunities for developers, as considering the tremendous success of their previous projects, the rights owners are now inclined to introduce more characters into the gaming universe. However, Insomniac is currently fully occupied with Wolverine. Brian Intihar mentioned that after the release of Spider-Man 2, the team has no time for rest and many employees have transitioned to working on the next game. Additionally, there is information that Logan was originally intended to appear in Spider-Man Miles Morales, but Intihar noted that the developers decided not to include him as they wanted to initially focus on creating standalone games about the main characters. However, now that the crew has released several successful titles in succession, they are ready to drop something new. Intihar cautioned many players against making crazy theories and advised them to wait for the release of Wolverine to see the precise intersections between the two franchises for themselves. Brian can't delve into specific details about Wolverine, but he did acknowledge the gaming community's dedication in deciphering the Easter eggs in the announcement teaser. Even back then, many fans had a hunch about the connection with Spider-Man, but it seems that's not all the audience predicted. In the teaser, references to the classic comic book were found. Here's the Incredible Hulk 181, first published in 1974. In this issue, Wolverine is sent to battle both Hulk and the Wendigo. Logan and Bruce Banner briefly team up to confront the Wendigo, but they eventually end up clashing with each other until both are knocked out. That comic book holds a significant place in Marvel history and is highly sought after by collectors. One of the popular fan theories suggests that players can expect a unique origin story for Wolverine, where one of his initial antagonists will be Hulk. Brian Intihar didn't entirely refute this, hinting that some of the players' speculations may indeed be close to the truth. Journalist Jeff Grubb recently shared insight details about the upcoming game. He reported that the story is said to begin in a time period before X-Men, and it will have a markedly different tone from the movies by Fox Studios and Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Logan. If Grubb's information is accurate, Marvel's Wolverine won't feature an open world like the previous Spider-Man games. The gameplay is purportedly going to be predominantly linear with wide sections similar to other Sony Interactive Entertainment exclusives. Insiders are drawing direct comparisons between Wolverine and the God of War trilogy, and even The Last of Us. These games have excelled in delivering engaging, story-driven experiences, and it's promising to see Wolverine following in their footsteps. The comparison to God of War, known for its brutal combat system and level designs, as well as The Last of Us for its emotional depth and storytelling, suggests that Insomniac is aiming to experience that not only does justice to the character of Wolverine, but also stands as a strong, narrative-driven title in its own right. With this insight from Jeff Grubb, fans are eagerly anticipating the release of the game, eagerly awaiting the opportunity to explore the untold facets of Logan's story and to experience a gripping and emotionally resonant plotline. There is information that the primary focus of the developers will be on the plot, which is expected to be more grounded compared to the Spider-Man games. They promise to delve into Logan as a weary character with his own moral dilemmas and even psychological issues. Creative director Brian Horton said that the game will have a dark, mature tone, but this doesn't mean that the game will be M-rated. It's just that the developers promise to portray Wolverine's canonical character, and doing so properly may involve some level of bloody and cruelty scenes. What's for sure is that Insomniac has already demonstrated its expertise in creating superhero games. The announcement of Wolverine has excited many fans and left them eagerly anticipating any available details. Unfortunately, the studio has so far only provided a cinematic trailer. One of the interesting aspects that Insomniac could provide is a rich and diverse world that includes the Canadian wilderness with several rural towns. Mountains, forests, rivers, lakes, all of these landscapes should definitely be part of Wolverine. This would allow the developers to expand the gaming universe, offering a completely different project with a unique setting. Wolverine doesn't have to be a carbon copy of Spider-Man, as we've already experienced stories set in large New York. This time, it's a chance to venture beyond those boundaries. Games like Days Gone provide excellent examples of how woodland areas can be atmospheric and engaging for exploration. In this setting, you can also populate the world with interesting characters who offer side quests or simply expand the game's storyline through small, dark tales. I believe that Insomniac should provide provide us with the opportunity to ride motorbikes and even horses, considering that Wolverine can't swing as Spidey, and constantly running or walking from point to point would become very monotonous and boring. Furthermore, a more extensive character customization system would be greatly welcomed, allowing players to create their unique version of Wolverine using a well-detailed gear system. This would add freshness to superhero games and give us the way to influence all of Logan's abilities. Wolverine, as one of the most brutal superheroes, deserves a M rating. He doesn't shy away from using violence in fights through killing, and that should be reflected in the gaming experience. It's also important to introduce moral choices into the game, allowing us to influence the story, endings, and relationships with other characters. This would increase replayability and add diversity to mission playthroughs. Finally, Wolverine's move animations should reflect his character and vibe. His combos should be more predatory, heavy, and aggressive compared to Spider-Man. The combat system should be reworked to emphasize the brutality and the ability to ruthlessly cut through hordes of soldiers. In combat, Wolverine will primarily rely on his claws and heightened smell. In comics, Logan has a super sharp sense of smell that's on par with Daredevil's hearing ability when it comes to detecting enemies. This opens up many possibilities, even for stealth missions. Insomniac should give us the opportunity to experience Wolverine's power from all angles, not just as a killing machine, to avoid making it a monotonous slasher. By delving into Wolverine's tragic origin through immersive flashbacks, the game has the potential to add profound layers to the character, offering players a more profound understanding of his complex persona. It's through these flashbacks that we can witness the pivotal moments that shaped Logan into the enigmatic and fierce mutant he has become. The narrative of the game promises to be a compelling and mature. This darker narrative will unmask the formidable challenges that Logan grapples with in his tumultuous life, immersing players in a plot where morality isn't always black and white. We definitely don't need a lighter narrative like in Spider-Man games. Wolverine's story should take a grittier and more introspective approach. It should pose intricate moral questions, pushing the protagonist to confront his demons and make choices that resonated deeply with the player. The script should raise difficult choices for the protagonist who is trying to forget his past. Wolverine certainly deserves a story that delves into the darkest corners of his psyche and history, offering the audience an emotionally charged experience that could potentially be a masterpiece in the gaming industry. With Insomniac at the helm, a studio that has already proven its prowess in crafting superhero projects, Wolverine shows immense promise. Fans are eagerly anticipating those initial glimpses of the game, the revelations about its gameplay mechanics, and further details about the narrative and character development. It's a project that holds the potential to redefine superhero gaming and leave a lasting mark in the industry. Subscribe.